the game, Sylas is going to fall off a cliff. Rumble is going to stop becoming threatening. Scaling from Senna, once it starts coming online, is going to outshine the Varus, because Varus can't reliably do anything against some of these champions on T1. And you already know how I feel about Tahm when your team composition is trying to kite forward. Things are, it's not a good look. It's not a good look, Valdez. I think this is one of those drafts where T1 actually has a winning draft. When they have a winning draft, it's pretty scary.
They have a winning draft against the team they're supposed to win against, and they are coming off a massive win against Gen G. So I think they should be coming into this match pretty much the most confidently that they ever have been, and it's going to be interesting to see if Griffin can do anything. I mean, all the cards are against them in this matchup, so it's really going to be hoping on a dream here for our underdogs on the blue side to see if someone, anyone, can pull off a carry. Can Tarzan get something going on a Rek'Sai early? Can Ucal have an insane carry Sylas performance? Or something like that, because they're going to need some kind of miracle up against T1 in their current form. As we are going to jump onto the Rift for match number 68 of the spring split. We're getting towards the end here.
Well, let's take a look at what is going to end up happening, as the game is just going to be a fan out. Neither team really looking for any sort of action early on. We've seen a couple of these matchups in recent times, and it is going to be the fasting Senna down there in bot. Effort 10-3, 76.9% on the Nautilus. And do you know what I'm thinking?
What are you thinking?
Why isn't it just 13-0? You know. That's exactly.
Yeah. Well, he's got a lot of work to do to get there. Actually, I think it's actually impossible to get there from here, but we'll see what he can do maybe next split.
All right. Well,
Hail of Blades, Rek'Sai.
Yeah, with water walking as well, and there's a lot of responsibility on the Rek'Sai in the early stages of this game, because if all of the lanes are left to their own accord, T1 just has the leg up in every lane. But then in addition to that, it's really difficult for Rek'Sai with these lane champions to coordinate and set up ganks unless T1 is making a lot of mistakes. So I have a lot of trouble envisioning a world where this game just doesn't get stalemated until 12, 13 minutes, with then T1 just starting to win out slowly but surely in the mid-game before just having an explosive mid-game fight and T1 walking away with the victory. And even when we consider the first couple of dragons for the game, it's really hard for me to also imagine that they're not going to go over to T1, because that mid lane dynamic as well as the bot lane dynamic and how the lanes tend to play out.
Yeah, I mean, this is like T1's comfort zone. You know, this is definitely where they have a lot of their success, no doubt. As Ucal is just, you know, he's trying, but it's not going very well, as he's going to have to pump that first stack of the corrupting pot, because looking to throw down awards, wants to protect Faker here in the mid lane. As we will take a look. Now remember, guys, when you see these win rates on the champions, they have lost a lot of games. And the fact that two of the players have winning ratios on two of these champions, I mean, that's not bad. Also, you got Tarzan trying something new, I suppose, if we're looking at just champions, as obviously it is a bit more than that when it comes to League of Legends, but trying something new when you're down in the dumps and you're down in 10th place, I can't feel too bad about it.
Nope, absolutely not. As Griffin will see what they can manage to muster up so far here in this game. Tarzan taking a much more conservative route here to start things off, because finally now just getting around to the Scuttle Crab. You see the teleport coming in, Faker playing on the left-hand side pocket of the lane. But again, He plays towards the side of where his jungler is. He knows that Rek'Sai can't come from the left side. That's why he's on the left side of the lane. And now Tarzan is actually going to share XP with Ucal. So this is a bit of an unfortunate thing. It's not going to be the end of the world. You can see Faker is already level 4. He's going to recall. Did have to use his exhaust there, so did not quite see how that just all panned out, but not the end of the world in mid. He really wants to shove in this wave, though, and that's why CUZZ is backing him up in close proximity.
Really trying to force this 2-on-2 here. Really nice pillar to get Tarzan out of that burrow, and CUZZ is just going to walk away, not really successfully pushing in the lane, and they're still chasing after him. He will absolutely have to flash to get away from this one, as really just trying to make the most of a difficult situation was Faker and CUZZ.
Yeah, you can understand what Faker's thinking there. He wants to crash the cannon because I mean, it just makes sense to try to do it. He has a jungler in close proximity. He thinks that he's safe. In the end, they do end up blowing CUZZ's flash, but it does grant Faker the reset that he did want. Ucal has also already expended his teleport, so he's on 2 corrupting potions, 2 biscuits, and as Faker comes back to lane, he's going to be having a really nice time at this point. You can see Ucal taking a really heavy trade, Faker standing his ground.
Yeah, you got to be careful in those extended traits against an Azir when he's got 3 soldiers up. Yes, in the beginning you're going to do a great job with the burst damage in that matchup, but you do have to be careful because eventually they're just going to chip you down even if Azir doesn't have that many items. As you can see, the game plan here for the side of T1 is just shadow Faker. Wherever he goes, try to go for ganks, try to get him to flash, throw him off his game. So far, it has garnered a slight lead here in the mid lane for the Sylas for Ucal.
And the really interesting thing is that they're committing so much to this that it really shows what they want to do, like you're mentioning, trying to throw Faker off of his game. Azir is the centerpiece of this T1 team composition as well, so if he isn't very strong, or if they can end up stifling him in the early stages, it'll be really effective as this game moves into the mid-game stages, as Tarzan now, he's going to get the Swallow Crab. And a lot of these early game mini skirmishes centered around mid has made it so that Faker's recall obviously didn't come at the super ideal timing, not that Ucal's did either, but bottom lane also getting shoved in. Viper and Irove actually doing a really good job. Tarzan coming for a gank over here.
Yeah, this is the old-style Rek'Sai gank we used to see all the time, but a really nice dredge line is going to get effort totally to safety. No danger there. Doesn't even have to flash to get out of that one, as he was able to react extremely quickly. Nice try by Tarzan, but it's going to be extremely difficult to gank this bottom lane with the tanky boy Nautilus, who's got items, already has Bomby Cinder. I don't know what that was. Just a couple of purple floaties floating by, as it doesn't land onto anything, doesn't do anything. As Tarzan is mid again, and it's not doing too much, as Faker has gained the lead now.
And the really interesting thing about this is that he's managed to keep up with CUZZ in terms of CS. They're actually going to get the blue buff for Ucal, and so Faker really needed that in order to sustain throughout this laning phase. He doesn't have teleport available, no lost chapter, and now not having access to his second blue is actually a really big deal, because this means that Sylas is going to get back-to-back blue buffs. You can see Faker recalls into lost chapter, but he is losing a bit of tempo inside of this lane. Meanwhile, Untara up in top lane just going completely even with the Renekton. CANNA makes his way into the blue, places the ward over the wall. They want to know when Rek'Sai is on the left-hand side of the map, and with CUZZ in such close proximity to the dragon, we'll see if he actually just taps down or if he's just going to move over to the Raptors, as he is running straight down. He's going to run over a ward. Oh, no, he's not. He's actually turning around. I'm looking only at the minimap right now. I
Yeah.
don't care about the Varus and the Tahm pushing the wave.
Oh, you don't?
I do not care, do you?
Did you miss their trading? You see that like tiny little bit of chip damage that they're doing to Ender?
I do see that, yeah.
Yeah, well, you'll miss that if you're only looking at the minimap. So.
All right.
But with that pushing power, they are just going to move over to the dragon and take that down. CUZZ he didn't even show himself, as you mentioned, in that bottom side river. He's just up at the top side. We're going to get the news now. And CUZZ will just say, okay, I'll get what I can, take the blue buff. But early Infernal Drake, pretty good for the side of Griffin.
And the Infernal Dragon is actually really key for them, because we talked early on about how, given the Azir Sylas matchup in mid, it's actually really hard to find ways where Azir wouldn't have prio, but all of those very mini early game decisions that ended up happening, CUZZ losing his flash losing tempo inside of the jungle, Faker's offset recalls, everything sort of ties in together. And when CUZZ didn't just half down into river, and Griffin had the vision control around it, Tarzan just makes the opportunity to go over, get the Infernal Dragon. T1 rotate their bot lane up to try to do the Herald. They've done this actually a few times now in the LCK, and in doing so, they lost an entire bot minion wave. So that is a lot of CS, well, that's a lot of XP and gold just going into the point.
Yeah, and it's not the first time, as you mentioned, even out of T1, but also out of other teams. I mean, a lot of different teams have mixed with this strategy, and it has had mixed results on that note. As, yeah, they were looking to shadow mid once again. It looks like Griffin, though, are just going to go back bottom side, and they say, okay, we saw that little one. Let's see if we can get a pillar down onto Ucal. Not really going to work out, as Predator gets CUZZ in fast, but it also gets him out fast. As he'll look to push up towards the top side. Untara getting the call is going to back away and be totally fine.
Well, CUZZ walking up here, does have the Rift Herald available. You can see Teddy is actually roaming right now on this Senna. Does have level 6, so Dawning Shadow is available. As look at that skin. That is a Prestige Edition Senna.
Nice.
It really is very nice. Has the Louis Vuitton visuals as well. And, okay, so Equalizer clears out the entire minion wave. They are not going to summon the Rift Herald.
Yeah, they thought about it, but then Trundle just backed immediately as he took, I think it was 3 turret plates? It was, or not 3 turret plates, 3 turret hits from that turret, so had to just back away and look for a different lane. Could definitely consider mid. I mean, there's already a turret plate down, but you might just want to return to the top side because they already took a couple down, so maybe they could just finish off the turret. But at the end of the day, just going to hold on to it for now, as no kills right now. Just sitting at 12 minutes, 0-0. Just a slight lead here for Griffin.
And this lead isn't really sizable enough for it to be super impactful. And I like what T1 have done so far. They rotate the Senna up into the top lane. They're giving Nautilus a lot of solo XP down there in the bot lane. Teddy is also somehow ahead of Irove, as Effort, I believe, is ahead of Viper, even though they are both still level 8. And this is a bit of an interesting dynamic. Rift Herald spawned in the middle of the red side jungle, so CUZZ, being a gentleman, just wanted to give Shelly a bit of an adventure, some sightseeing, before sending her to her untimely demise on top.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time she just gets dropped down and has to headbutt to her death, but now she actually gets to see the world. Not bad. It's also very generous to Griffin because, you know, he gives them some warning. He's like, hey guys, I didn't really want to do this, but here you go. As Faker is just going to dash away. And they did give that advance notice to the side of Griffin, but there's not really much of a response just yet, as she is going to get a second charge off here. CANNA doing a great job to protect that and get a nice amount of bonus damage down.
And the thing here is Renekton now with the Black Cleaver, or not Black Cleaver, Blade of the Ruin King, I'm sorry, is going to recall, start pathing towards the Mountain Dragon, and this is a really nice pickup for T1. And for all the viewers watching, the only thing that wouldn't be nice is if, immediately after this, a Cloud Dragon spawns. Don't pay any attention to Tahm.
What was that?
What do you mean, what was that? He's working out his leg muscle.
Oh, well, I mean, he was working out his Abyssal Voyage.
Yeah, you gotta go, you gotta go.
I just, like, I don't really know what to say. Like, they were heading north. I guess he wrongly predicted that they would turn around to the lane.
Nothing wrong about that, Valdez.
Yeah.
There's only happy little accidents.
True. True.
You know?
Mistakes are just happy little
He's a pro support player, not an architect.
You see them as an opportunity.
Exactly. So, speaking of an opportunity, Griffin are just going to get this Mountain Dragon for free. And that is going to be a pickup. Ocean is coming up. So, T1 just really taking their time here. I do believe I see the trees outside my window budding. I'm just kidding.
I heard that you also, yeah, you can't see outside your window. What are you talking about? Also, your apartment is on like the 80th floor. Like, there's no trees up there.
I'm also
blind.
blind.
For you to see. You're also blind, yeah.
In my right eye. It's all over.
And I heard that you painted your guest room.
What?
In recent times, yeah.
What are you talking about?
How's the paint going? Is it drying well?
Oh, the paint is indeed drying well now. It really is, yes.
That's good. It's good to hear. I have a pot of water that I'm just looking at. It's taken a while to boil, though.
All right.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know that saying when you watch a pot of water boil, it takes a lot longer.
Ooh. Hold on. I gotta stop you. Speaking about boiling, I think we got some freezing going on up in top lane.
What?
No, I think he shoved it out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Son of a. He's got it. He's got a hot date. He heard about boiling water. He needs somewhere to be right now. So it all makes sense.
No, Griffin are really fast. They're first at ending their games really fast. So he wants to keep that up. He's doing a good job so far. But yeah, T1 they're gonna make their move here on Shirley, and they'll take her down. So didn't look like there was any vision around there. Griffin just gonna give that one away. As this is when T1 soon enough they should make their move as the Ocean Drakes come along. Do not want to give Ocean Soul away. It's gonna make this game so much harder. I would say at this next Ocean Drake in about 3 minutes, and then of course the one after that, we will see some moves made by T1. So if you're looking for the action, you'll have to wait 3 minutes.
Thank you for that analysis, Valdez.
That's why we have the timer up there in the top.
Absolutely. So the viewers can follow along.
Yeah. You just wait, you keep that timer up, and then when it's up, that's when you tune back to the stream, because you know there's going to be a fight soon.
Quite. Thank you.
Yeah.
For that bastion of information.
Yeah, I've been practicing recently. I moved from Silver 2 to Silver 1.
Wow.
I know you'd be proud of me.
And
I played in League of Legends. It's a new account. It's big knock up here. Okay, nice subjugate. They tried to fight. Nice job.
Well, what we have here is greatly reluctant fighters versus timeout 1.
Timeout 1.
So that is what is currently going on here. As CANNA, he heard you, Valdez. Yeah. He heard you laughing. So he just wanted he told Untara to go back to the.
Yeah, there was some action there. Oh,
yeah, here's the action.
The big flame thing came out, guys.
Yeah, perfect.
Tahm, he's really fast. He doesn't look like he would be fast, but he is.
We're all just playing ping pong. It would be a damn shame if someone froze side lane and then action was forced. No? Oh, okay.
Well, you don't go outside, so you probably don't know, but it's almost spring here in Korea.
It already is spring, March 21st.
Yeah, but it's like, it's still a little bit chilly. Like, I've been outside a bunch of times recently. You gotta get your air when you're quarantined. And it's been really nice, but it's still like a little bit chilly, especially at like 5, 6 p.m. But spring is coming. I don't want any freezing anymore. I'm done with winter.
Okay.
Bring me the warm weather.
All right. I can respect that.
Yeah.
I can indeed respect that.
If the warm weather comes, then you don't need to turn on your boiler anymore. So it does affect you as well.
Perfect. Perfect. Sounds absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's give a brief synopsis of what the game state is and what's likely to happen. So 25 seconds until a fight finally breaks out, in which T1 will reign victorious inside of that team fight. And then immediately following, send a member down to bottom to shove a wave, and then also capture the mid-tier 1 turret following that team fight. They will secure the Ocean Dragon, Valdez. After that, we're going to go back to the lull state for a while until the third item completions are completed. And then at that point, we might have a dance around the Baron, as that is what we're mostly looking forward to right now. I don't know what the record is in LCK for the longest non-first blood, but here we go. Are you ready?
We had it in spring, didn't we? Wasn't it like 27 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was you and I casting that game. Okay, so Griffin say you can have it. We don't want the Ocean Drake, actually. We're strong at this moment in time. You're going to be stronger later, but we'll fight you later. Actually, we'd rather have that.
You gave me the wrong script. I didn't need to complain to G-Sun after this one.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know, I'm not so sure either. As
Tarzan, he's given up on trying to fight champions. He's waiting on the on the raptor spawn. He's like,
so,
I gotta farm as fast as possible.
Not that it matters for T1. T1 are actually super happy to allow this to keep happening. They're super fine playing ping pong with all the waves. The thing is that with so much downtime, and with everything being so... Renekton down there in bottom, he could freeze right now. He could just freeze. There's no objective. No, he didn't. Of course not. Why did you do that? Because apparently, in some people's minds, Griffin would then group as 4 or 5 in mid lane, so Azir can summon 2 Sand Soldiers and clear the wave, so that Griffin can't actually shove. And if Griffin would try to do the Baron, they would actually lose it to a flank teleport from CANNA, and then end up resulting in the loss of the game. So, allergic to victory is what's going on here. It is allergy.
Yes, it is. And the pollen, it's getting ridiculous, as is the winning. Trying to help, though, from downtown. First Blood is going to go the way of Ucal, so a nice little solo kill effort going for a little bit of a walk. You were talking about the lull state. Maybe he was getting lulled into a bit of a sleeping mode here, as did not expect a Sylas to be around that corner. And he got punished for it.
Yeah, and Griffin, they pick up the first blood of the game. They also had an assist on it, so it's not super isolated. And at this stage, things are... I guess we can talk about itemization. Senna has the Umbral Glaive to clear out vision and control things around there. Rek'Sai going Black Fleet.
Oh, they're trying to punish Ucal now. He does have his flash, but it just doesn't matter. He was too far out of position. Didn't expect them to collapse that fast, but just like that, the Sylas will disappear. There were a bunch of pings onto the Baron from, it looks like Griffin. And T1 were pinging as well, but it wasn't the Baron. It was just the Rift Scuttler. So they didn't seem to have any plans of taking down that Baron or anything like that. As you mentioned, just coasting along and scaling up.
We're all just sort of gliding at this point. We're all just having a lot of patience.
Jin Air had it right from the beginning.
Jin Air was ahead of their time.
Yeah. Man, they would love this meta. Just sit back and...
And I think what T1 is helping us show here is that they're in harmony with Griffin. They're showing us the social distancing. And that's all that's going on here. They're making sure to stay very far apart from each other, barring these two hiccups.
I like
and
this.
I actually really do like this. This is I don't even want to call it a sneak. It doesn't even deserve to be called a sneak. Everyone is asleep right now. So.
It's very easy to sneak around sleeping people, that's for sure. It's becoming more obvious by the second, but there you go. Baron's just going to go down. And you know what I like about this the most is that it's the best way to take Baron with the least amount of blood spilled. So T1 is really contributing. They're trying to keep everybody alive in this game. And they say, we'll just take the Baron. You guys don't have to fight us. We'll just take it down. And we'll keep it 1-1. How's that sound?
Okay. I don't know what there is to really say at this current point in time. This is a lull state for the ages. I think Atlas probably woke up. I think that it's like a bat symbol in the sky for him. That this is something that is very unusual. I mean, this is taking it to a whole other level here in the LCK. And you know what this means, Valdes, though? It means that game number 2 is going to be a clown fiesta.
Oh, yeah.
Because
players get sick of it. They're like, we're done with this. We're fighting now.
They are just building up right now to release in game number 2. Okay, finally.
Turning this one around. I'm not sure why Griffin thought they could engage their stopwatch. Pretty good item. Will it be good enough? No. Not in this sense, as another stopwatch will be used. Ucal going to survive for now. Teddy doing a good job kiting, but actually Viper's doing an even better job. Is able to zone them all away, and now CUZZ in an awkward spot, but really all he's doing is peeling for Faker, who is level 15 with both summoners available, tons of room in the jungle. He's looking to take down this red buff, will be able to do that. Looking for the flank here was Sylas, but Ucal's below half health, even with the Kingslayer, is going to be pushed away, as it doesn't amount to many kills, just a 1-for-1, but at the end of the day, it looks like T1 are just going to take the dragon, and Griffin say, you can have it.
Yeah, so T1 are just going to take the Ocean Dragon, and then they're probably, I guess, going to back off.
바로 빼야 된다.
버리면 뺄 거야 이거.
렌즈 없구나. 아래 무빙 치긴 할게.
가볼래?
have,
이거 뭘 받을 건다?
오케이.
왜
너 됐어?
2인 볼게 2인 볼게.
연기할게. 얘네 아래 무빙 얘도.
우리 이거 20초 20초 뒤에 20초.
2초만 먹어.
천천히 가자. 우리 탱 안 돼. 20초 15초 15초.
20 seconds.
20 seconds, 15 seconds, and we didn't get to hear anything else from that.
So he's just trying to time the speed at which it was going down, trying to relay the information to his teammates who might not be watching. And we see this trade down here in bottom. Stopwatch did end up being used. Teddy tried to go in there as well to deal damage, but Viper just dealing insane amounts. Faker pushing out lots of damage on the backline. The Thomas Ken is about to die.
Oh, Timmy. Oh, he's going to flash away. He's fine. Never should have doubted him. What I should have had confidence in is that no more kills were going to happen in this game. As Tahm Kench did deny a bunch of kills from happening there, survives himself. They're not able to turn it around. As the game is extending, because the Baron here, the Baron buff, looks like it's no longer available. T1 with that buff, not able to do too much, except take a Baron and a decent fight down in the bottom side. So the game is really just creeping along.
Yeah, they do continue to extend their gold advantage. They also do have 2 Ocean Dragons, and Faker misses the divide right there. It's not the end of the world, but T1 are in such a comfortable spot. A straight-up 5-on-5 team fight will result in a complete wipe of Griffin if they take it at this point. They don't have split pushing power available to them. The only thing that they can do is hope that Effort or Canna are constantly overextended or something of that nature, and then trying to get pickoffs on them. In that regard, as T1 now looking to raise the top tier 2 turret and extend their gold lead to about 4,000 gold at the very end. But Ucal, here we go.
Nice little
Maybe
try.
not.
He's really trying to force it. He missed that. They were all clumped up and somehow was not able to land that engage as the stun comes down onto Tarzan, the root rather, as the stopwatch. Not going to help him out here too much. He's able to avoid a lot of that damage with his own ultimate. Untara all alone on the right side will go down as Faker is just wreaking havoc over the rest of the team here, although now he's out of mana and it is not going to matter. Takes out 1 and 2, goes down in the end, but that is a ace going the way of T1, the one team fight that looks to end this game.
Yeah, and so they have the minion wave in mid. Death timers are at about 30 seconds on the key targets that could be able to resist. Obviously, Tarzan's going to come up, but Rek'Sai is not the greatest wave clearer. It does look like, actually, though, with the absence of Faker and Trundle not having come over, they're not even going to try to push on for a Nexus turret or something of that regard. Instead, Trundle going to pillage the entire left-hand side jungle of his opponents. Baron's going to be coming up. So take a look at this. Ucal misses a couple of these skill shots in a row. That was already 2 at the very start of this, but he's going to miss one more onto Faker. Tarzan goes over the wall. He does virtually nothing. Teddy and CUZZ light him up like a Christmas tree before Teddy claps Untara on the right-hand side. Ucal tries to turn around and make one last stand. Faker without any mana, but with one lone soldier, able to just dish out enough damage with the auto attacks to get the ace for his team. He did end up falling at the very end. And now T1 posturing around the Baron. 50 seconds until the 3rd Ocean Dragon. And again, the next team fight, you take a look at Sylas, nothing's really changed for him. Nothing's changed for Rek'Sai. This is going to be an identical team fight, and it's just going to be so lopsided in T1's favor.
Yep, that is absolutely what we are expecting here. So looking to hard engage Faker's just going to get hit right in the front, maybe a little bit too aggressive that time around. He's going to get assassinated by the Rek'Sai. Overconfidence coming out of Faker here in this game. And a pretty big mistake as now Griffin will be able to win this fight and move on to greener pastures. Where will they go? They're looking at the Baron as Tarzan is going to loop around. T1 say, sure, go ahead. We'll just take one more Ocean Drake that will get us one away from that Ocean Soul. With the mid lane pushing, T1 actually don't seem to mind too much.
Yeah, so the minion RNG ends up going in Griffin's favor. Generally, mid inhibitors don't raise Nexus turrets. It's often the ones in the side lanes that give more time for the super minions to basically pile up and do something. As, take a look at Faker. He just walked face first into Viper and ends up getting killed. It was really all that there was to it in this team fight. So, very bizarre kind of mistake. And you have to wonder why he's even posturing or positioning where he was at that point. Almost does have the Banshee's Veil complete. Griffin did get the Baron. That helps them out in the XP department as well as the gold department. But T1 are now 4.5 minutes away from Ocean Soul. This is one of the longer games. I mean, we have 12 kills, but remember the manner in which they occurred. It's not like this game has had a whole lot of action.
Yeah, most of these kills in this game did come from the 1 or 2 team fights that we have seen so far, and that's just about it. But we should get some more action here by about the 36, 37 minute mark as that Ocean Soul, it will be on Soul Point. And there's no way that Griffin are just going to let that go down as well, as they have for the first and the second and even the third. I mean, I think they could have challenged that Ocean. There's no way that T1 could have picked up the Baron as they were doing that. As we've seen many times before, the Baron doesn't end up doing too much. It helps push if you're ahead. Going for the Ocean Soul, definitely bigger as a nice big ultimate there, but can Faker trade it back as he is going to win with the help of the Senna? Will go down at the end of it all, though, as CUZZ is also going to be baited into this one, a double kill. Finally, that Rek'Sai for Tarzan somehow finding some value here after 30 minutes.
And so, right now what's happening is that the Baron buff is still persisting right now for Griffin, and T1 is maybe, I mean, they're actually always known for their resilience and their ability to remain calm and not really overreact to situations, but definitely some uncharacteristic choices being made by them as they're out on the map for no real reason. If Azir is just at the turrets, Griffin can't reliably actually push, and now Griffin potentially going to raise the top inhibitor, which that one's not the end of the world, because top inhibitor, you're always going to be in close proximity to the Baron. The one upside of this, though, is that T1 is going to want to be at the Ocean Dragon in 2.5 minutes. So potentially, Super Minions in top lane could do something. Now take a look at this. Faker cancels his recall. He thinks that he's safe. Ucal waiting in the distance. Dawning Shadow comes out. Faker barely able to live and bring down the Sylas. What a close encounter, as CUZZ trying to make his way over to help inside of that fight. And the gold lead is non-existent at this point, Valdez. It is completely non-existent.
It's totally evened up, and that's what happens when you just run straight at the enemy, give up a bunch of kills, give up the Baron, and then also give them a 1-for-2, and then an extra couple of turrets on the top side. So Griffin have absolutely come back in terms of the gold on, you know, the CGs that we have. As trying to dive onto Canna here. He does have a GA. He is going to be burst down into that Guardian Angel. Will he be able to follow up from here? Trying to get that burst damage down with the Rumble, but it's not going to be enough. And even Tahm is going to be baited into this one. As down will he go as well. That's a couple of members of Griffin going down right before this Ocean Drake spawns.
I have a really interesting thing with you I want to actually talk about in the replay. The stars have to really align for something like this to happen, but I think it's a pretty interesting thing to talk about because it's really hard to think about in the moment. I think it's something that you have to do a lot beforehand. Viper is behind enemy lines right now.
He got away.
He did manage to escape.
That's crazy. Canna TP'd in there, and he was just too scared to go straight into 3 members. His team was pretty far behind, so it was a good idea, I suppose, but they weren't able to clean up on any kills. But yeah, I wonder, we might not get into the replay because this Ocean Drake is going to spawn soon. Oh, there we are.
All right. Now, what I want you to do is imagine that you're Tahm Kench in this whole team fight debacle thingy-majiggy. Canna ends up going into Guardian Angel. Dawning Shadow comes out, deals a lot of damage to Viper. Renekton finally able to kill Ucal. Now, imagine T1 doesn't kill Tahm. They just sort of hug him and follow him.
We do have a fight breaking out there. We'll get to that a little bit later as Teddy is going to be knocked up here. Zhonya's helping out for Ucal, but they're chasing him down. Canna, bit awkward of a position, but it looks like he is going to be okay. The Drake getting low, but T1 do not want to go for a 50-50. They want better odds, and that has always been what T1 has been about.
There's those minions that I was talking about. Tarzan
they're going to go for it here, though, and there it is. Azir going to pick up the Ocean Soul, as now they're just going to hard force the team fight after picking up that objective. They've got to save their base, though. Azir going in alone. Faker is going to be taken out here. And now Viper is autoing from behind. Here's Ucal in the base. But with Canna coming back, don't think he's going to be able to take out that turret. He's going for the 1v1 as T1 are all coming back into the base. They got scared. We got TPs coming in. They just might try to run down the base here. I'm not sure if they can, though. Viper TPing straight into the enemy team. And he's going to be devoured, and that might just be enough. The autos are doing enough damage, and he is kiting them extremely well. But with Teddy still alive, he looks a little bit too scared to actually pull this off. They're waiting for the minion waves, and they might actually be able to do this. Did T1 overstep their bounds as the minions have come into the mid lane? They're pushing down the mid lane straight here, and they have super minions from the top side.
Faker in 10 seconds, teleport coming in, they're focusing
Yeah, Viper just gonna focus down that turret, and now they have the Nexus open. T1, what have you done? Griffin going to be able to take game number 1 as unbelievable plays at the end here at 38 minutes give the victory to Griffin.